Do you want to get started in real estate, but you don't have a ton of cash, you don't have a bunch of experience? Here are 4 ways that you can get started today while hedging against risk and still learning the game at the same time. All right, so I'm John. Welcome back to my channel. On today, we're going to be talking about the 4 ways that you can get started in real estate. Anyone can start with these 4. You just pick whichever one works out best for you and your situation and your advantages. Which one works out for the advantage that you may have if you're getting started. I'm going to hop right into it. And number 1, which is probably the best skill set that you can obtain as a real estate investor, and that's going to be to become a deal finder. So knowing how to be able to spot, identify, underwrite, and eventually monetize good deals. So who these folks would normally come as either the wholesaler or else the realtor. They're great because they're going straight to the source. They're going straight to the property owner, and they're bringing that deal to the marketplace. The wholesaler most of the time is going to bring that to an off-market marketplace. The realtor often is going to bring it to an on-market marketplace, which is the most eyeballs. So you can just decide which route you like to go down, which one you prefer to work with. Just as an investor, just make sure that they both are really locked in on your buy box, your criteria, what you're looking for in the property. That can be a particular area, that can be a particular ROI, that can be a set cash flow, that can be a certain LTV that you want to stay under. You want them to know your buy box so that they can go out and shop on your behalf and bring you good deals that you'll be able to monetize. But if I'm talking to you and I'm talking to someone who maybe don't have the experience, the funds, and the money to get started, that is a great way to get started. And you are satisfying one of the top skill sets that you need as an investor, and that's lead generation and finding good deals. Next up is going to be, it's a little different than the first one, but it's going to be house hacking. So house hacking is another way that anyone can get started in real estate. I like it. Actually, the property that I'm standing in right now, my wife and I, we house hack a duplex here in St. Louis. So we live in one unit and we rent out the other unit. And if I had to define house hacking, that's exactly what it is. It's when you're literally hacking your housing situation. It's very commonly done with multifamilies. At least that's how I like it as well. You may have some people who may do it with a single family home where they actually live in one room and they rent out the other rooms, or they may turn their basement into an area that can be rented out. But with me and my family, that wouldn't work for us. We love it, the more of the model where it's multifamily units. Everyone has their own unit. So it's very commonly done with a 2-family on up to a 4-family. That's the sweet spot because you still qualify for residential financing there. But you live in one unit and you rent out the other units. And then you can move out and then you'll rent out the unit that you once stayed in. I like house hacking because you sort of have 1 foot in investing, 1 foot out, right? I'm an investor, I'm a landlord, but I'm also just satisfying my daily necessity of needing a roof over my head. Also, it's a 2 to 4 unit property, so I can still sell it very easily if I don't end up liking being an investor or a landlord. So I love it as an on-ramp for investing. Let's say if you want to keep going and you happen to buy a 2, 3, or 4 family and you want to keep scaling up and growing your portfolio, your first one right off the bat was 2 to 4 units. So I love house hacking as a strategy for those looking to get started. Next up is going to be, what's a service provider? Not to be confused with an investor. Oftentimes the service providers are paid first and the investor is paid last. But some of your service providers are going to be that realtor. It's going to be your inspector. It's going to be the title company. It's going to be the contractor. It's going to be your notary. It's going to be your attorney. Those are all service providers. They're hired. And they're hired by the qualified buyer in order to help see the transaction throughout the end. And you can do that as well. So again, it's not investing, but you are in the investing space. So you can sort of leverage your contact list as a service provider to sort of take advantage of some investing opportunities as well. If I can give an example, our sewer tech. He's in and out of properties all day long, checking sewer lines for investors. As he's doing that, he's also building relationships with investors. As he's doing that, he's also learning what properties are distressed, what properties are about to sell. I've had to come here several times to address the sewer line. Why don't they just get it fixed? There's some distress there. I may have an opportunity to reach out to them to see if they want to sell their property. So you can see how that's, even though he's a service provider, he really has an open door to really reach out and see if there's an opportunity for him to invest in that property as well, which he may not have had that opportunity or else that insider knowledge if he was not a service provider within the industry. Not to be confused with the investor. The investor is the actual person that's taking title to the property, the one that's going to take it down, the one that's going to take on the risk, the one that's going to actually invest into the property for a return. That's another way that you can get started in real estate, is by being a service provider within the industry. It's a very great way. You're also going to learn some sales and marketing there, because you need to market yourself. You need to close sales in order to secure business for your service providing business. So that's 3 so far. We talked about being a deal finder. That's the number 1 skill set that you can have as an investor. Number 2 is going to be house hacking. Number 3 is going to be the service provider. And number 4 is going to be for someone, maybe, man, I'm still not confident on operations yet. I'm still not confident on taking down the property or taking on all the risk myself. I'm going to let my money go out and do the work before I actually do the work. This one, you want to be partnered up with a good real estate operator, and that's going to be a private money lender, or it's a private money partner. So for one, you're going for equity, or else you're going for straight debt. So let me write that down. Number 4, private lender partner. So as a private lender, you may be sitting on $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. That may not be enough to fully fund a transaction, but that may be enough to cover the down payment and holding costs of an investor who may use hard money to fund the actual purchase and acquisition. Or else they may use hard money for purchase, and that may be enough to fund the acquisition. We have a hard money lender here in St. Louis. He only funds on acquisition. He does not give rehab costs. So someone who's using that lender, they can use your money in order to fund their rehab costs. And you may say, I'll lend my money out at 12%, and these are the terms. So you being a new person, you still want to see what's going on. You may say, hey, I want to be able to stop by the property. I want to be able to hop on the call every 2 weeks. Or you can draw out your own terms as the private lender. Or else if you're working with a good operator, they may already have a working system, a box of what they look for from their lenders. And if it meshes well with what you're comfortable with, then you can lend on that deal. Security around lending money is that you always want to have a note and a deed of trust. So the note is the promissory note, the promise to pay is going to spell out the details and the terms of the transaction that's taking place. The deed of trust is the actual security instrument that will allow you to foreclose on the property and take the property back in the event that they default or if they breach their contract. If you're funding just fix up, you may be in a second lien position. Whoever funded that acquisition may be in the first lien position. So just keep that in mind. Or else if they use their own cash for acquisition, but maybe they needed private money for fix up, then you can still be in first position. But always, always, always make sure that you are getting a security instrument and you're closing these types of transactions out at a title company or an attorney's office. This is not something that we're just doing over the countertop at Starbucks or McDonald's. This needs to be done with professional third-party businesses, title companies, attorneys. Those are 4. We still want to treat it like a business. We still want to give it our utmost respect and attention. I'll run down the 4 one more time. Number 1, deal finder. our realtors, our wholesalers, just letting everyone know what we do. We're looking for real estate deals and either take down a deal or she can assign a deal. So again, I'm just thinking about how to get started in real estate. It can be assigning, just monetizing it as quick as possible, or it can be if you have the resources, take it down. Number 2 is going to be house hacking. I love house hacking. It's where you live in one unit and you rent out all of the other units. I love it because it's a great on-ramp to real estate. Number 3 is going to be a service provider. So this is not necessarily an investor, but they are hired by the investor or the qualified buyer to help see the transaction through. And number 4 is going to be a private money lender or private money partner. Private money lender, you're basically just a debt lender. You may say, I'm going to lend you this money at 12%. 12% a year. So you take how much you lent out, divide it by 12, and that's what you should be, unless there's points or anything added on, that's what you should be receiving every month. You don't participate in any of the downside or the upside. You just get your money every month. The private money partner, you may have a 50-50 relationship. Hey, we're partners. I brought the money to the table. You're bringing the sweat equity, the operations to the table, and we will split the upside. Here's the key. You also split the downside. So you want to make sure that you're with a good operator, or if you as an investor, you've known and you've accepted that with any investment, it comes along with its friend risk. And our job as investors and good operators is to hedge against risk. How do we hedge against risk? Experience is one. Knowing the market is another. Buying at a great LTV to where we still have a nice equity cushion there, to where if we had to sell this property, even without it being finished, I'll be able to make enough money to make my private lender whole. Those are different ways that, also, if something came up, what's my character as the operator? Will I make sure that you're paid back? Those are all different ways that we can hedge against risk, but all parties should know that it's an investment and there's still always risk. So those are the top 4. I won't say top 4, but those are 4 ways. You may have another starting 4 for what you would recommend for people, how they can get started in real estate. But those are 4 right off the bat that anyone can use to get started in real estate. If you enjoy videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers, and my goal is to have a video coming every week. So you guys hold me to it. I'll see you next week.